Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time visiting my channel, I am the Concrete Catwalk. I want to welcome you coming to my channel and checking out what my channel is all about, what I like to talk about. I am a reseller, I love thrifting, and I love sharing my finds with people who come to my closet. I have a closet on Poshmark. The closet is Concrete Catwalk, so you can go over there and you can check out the things that I list. I typically list every week. Take a look around, make me an offer. Let's talk, because if you love it, I want to make sure that you are able to get your hands on it before somebody else does. For those of you who are returning to my channel, welcome. Everyone here is called Catwalkers. You guys are awesome, and I just want to welcome you and say hey to everybody who's here to join me to talk about today's topic. So, yesterday on Instagram, I posted a little short of a...
No, so that snippet was actually posted earlier this morning. So, I digress.
I'm going to show it again in case you didn't have a chance to see it. This is the cutest, softest, most luscious thing. It is 100% Mongolian fur. This bag was all of 75 cents. And yeah, it's going to be what I consider a closet keeper. It's going to be for me. But one of the things that I have come to realize is that where something comes from doesn't matter. What matters is that, does it work for you? Does it not work for you? Is it something you like? Is it something that you think you might be able to resell? Got me kind of thinking. And that had to do a lot with, the open mind concept of, when you're going in, do you think about it? Do you not think about what you... Before we even get into that, I was contemplating, and I've had this happen to me. I've got, people in my life who do not like it. They don't, when I say do not like it, they do not like thrift. Plain and simple. So, of course of doing this, this resale thing and going into plenty of thrift stores. A lot of times when I get into conversations with people who do not like this world that we're in, who do not like, even if you're not reselling, but just, the idea of wanting to find a bargain. And I think that one of those reasons is the fact that the stuff is used. The fact that somebody else had, their stuff in it, somebody else live their life with it, or it's been worn out, so no. And I think that the opposite side of that is, I look at it from the standpoint of, yeah, that piece of clothing may have had a history, or those shoes may have had a history with someone else, but it's not like it can't be cleaned up. It's not like you can't throw it in the wash. It's not like you can't disinfect it and give it new experiences, or have experiences with whatever the item may be. Plain and simple. So, and go on about my business. And like I said, I'm totally with you. I totally get it. If that's what you would prefer to do, that's cool. But I'll say this, and I'm not being pro and con. That's not what I'm here for. I'm just simply sharing their perspective, and I'm sharing my perspective as far as what I see out of that. But as far as the brand names go, I think anything is possible at the thrift store. From the most hard to find brands to the everyday brands that you see everywhere. In line with that, a lot of people think that a lot of the stuff that ends up in secondhand stores is out of date. Well, that's kind of odd, I think, because the funny thing with fashion is that what goes around comes around. So you could find a pair of 1975 bell bottoms, and those things are probably, if not more so, valid today than what they were 20 years ago or 30 years ago. They're very, very valid. And I think that thrift stores teach a real valid lesson about rethink about visiting those places to find things that are of current. I would much rather prefer to have something that's vintage or thrifted specifically, because it has that history. It's not like it came off of a fashion, sewing machine or press and here's your item. I think that they have more of a retro feel, a retro fit, if you will. And I think for a lot of people who, like myself, enjoy the thrill of going into thrift stores, it adds to the nuance of that particular thing, no matter what it is. And I think that makes a lot of sense. But then on the other side of that, some people don't care about that. They don't want something that's 2 seasons old. They don't want something that may be a half a season old. I have some friends who are kind of one and dones. They've worn it. That's the end of it. Let's get rid of it. If that works, that's cool. That's cool. But what I've gotten from people too is that they just think that, the stuff in the thrift stores, it's ugly. It might be on a hanger and it might be the most unappealing thing on the planet. And, it's an immediate aversion to it because of the fact that it's not pristine and it's not on a pretty hanger or it's not on a pretty display. It's just, it's in a place that, may or may not be clean. It's in a place that it may not be their thing. And let's face it, it's not, it's not pretty sometimes. It's just not. I am one of those people where I don't really prefer a secondhand store or outlet store that's neat and prim and proper. I don't think that does anything for the hunt for me. It just does not do it. If it is a place that is, stuff over here, things thrown over here, that's more my thing. I'm a hunter. I like the fact of finding things that are treasures, because theoretically thrifting is a treasure hunt. You just don't know. You never know what you're going to come across. You have no idea the things that you could potentially find, and for a lot of people that's just not it. A lot of people think that thrift stores are dirty. Don't prefer to go to thrift stores. Friends of mine that I know that don't get into all of that. They don't like that. They don't like going into a store and it's just, let's just be real. It's literally, it's filthy. It's filthy. It's not a warm and cozy feeling. It's not like, walking into a place and it's immaculate and things are clean and you don't have to worry and this, you know what you're getting. In a thrift store, you do not know what you're getting. But then again, for me, that's what they make a washing machine for. That's what soap and water is for. That's what dryer sheets are for airing out things that may have a little bit of an odor, because let's be real, that happens. But yeah, I think that the aversion comes from the fact that people are wanting an experience that's more along the lines of what their comfort level is. And for some people, that may be going into a Neiman Marcus or a Saks or a Nordstrom's or a JCPenney because everything's new and clean and pretty. And then for others, it's not about that. It's about finding that diamond in the rough and bringing that diamond to a full-on shine. So, again, I don't look at it as a plus or a minus or a negative or that side's right or this side's wrong or I'm right. No. I'm just talking in terms of preferences and what I've noticed and what people have said and, the perspective. Because when you're in this business, and it kind of draws back to my initial thing about this purse, is it was totally unexpected. And I think when you walk into that world of resale or thrifting or whatever it is that you're doing with this, whether it's for you or whether it's to, to list and sell, you have got to have an open mind. You've gotta open your mind up so that those things that are there, those things that you may be desiring, those things that you aren't thinking about at the forefront of your mind, but subconsciously is there. Amazingly so, they pop up, and it's unexpected. This bag was a very unexpected find. I had a desire for a Mongolian fur bag, but I wasn't expecting to find one yesterday. I wasn't. And I think when you allow for an open mind and you're comfortable with the fact that if it's there and it's there to find, or it was meant to find, you're going to find it, or it's going to find you. I think part of going into this whole thing with resale and with thrifting is the fact that it has taught me that not everything comes pretty. Not everything comes wrapped in a perfect package. And that actually transcends not just about clothes and not just about but life in general. It is not coming in a pretty bow. It is not coming in a box that is blue with a big diamond in it from Tiffany's. That's not what life is about. Thrifting has taught me that sometimes the most beautiful things come from the most unlikely of places. So I think with that, those are the things that are the takeaways that I have learned to appreciate in doing this thing and in enjoying what thrifting is. Able to go in and consistently every single time walk into an unknown as far as, hey, some days are good, other days are bad. It's simply by the draw, if it's going to be there or if it's not going to be there. People who take the perspective of not wanting to thrift, I think it sometimes closes off avenues that could potentially lead to things that, quite honestly, you never thought that you'd find. Or, maybe even in terms of just, a budget. Some people are not on one. I'm on one. I'm more than happy, with being on one, because being mindful, especially with regards to thrifting and realizing that you don't have to spend thousands of dollars to look just as fashionable as the person who's sitting across from you, at the gala dinner that you're enjoying, or the ball that you're at. Doesn't take that much. But yeah, keep an open mind. Go in with no expectations. And above all, don't make a judgment call about a place where you could potentially find things that will work for you. So, again, no harm, no foul to people who turn their nose up at thrifting. It's all good. It's fine. Everyone's entitled to what they love and what they deserve. I don't knock a person for having that perspective. Just like I hope that they would not knock me for having this perspective of, wanting to thrift and enjoying the fact of finding the unknown. So, on that note, that is the topic of the day. Keep an open mind when you thrift, because you never know what could potentially be down that aisle or on that rack or in that row. If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, leave your comments about have friends, family, co-workers who have a perspective, or what's your perspective about it? Is it what you do, something you don't do? All comments are welcome. And also, too, go and check out my Poshmark Closet Concrete Catwalk. I am on Poshmark, and I'll leave the link below so you can get to my closet and shop it. Thank you all, you guys. See you next Sunday.